Hi, my name is Nico and we are here at the Antigravity booth. So the Antigravity is the world's first 360 camera drone. And lots of you might ask what's special about 360 camera drones. So usually with the traditional drones you just have one camera. You have always to point and keep your subject in frame, maybe do multiple passes, checking for vertical and horizontal framing, and also have to keep in mind what you want to shoot. And let's imagine you mess up, you notice while editing that you messed up your shoot. There's no way to reshoot it. With the 360, you don't have to worry about that anymore because you're capturing everything around you all the time in 8K 30 FPS. So the one thing is you just fly, and afterwards in the editing room you decide what you want to show the audience. Maybe go vertical, maybe export a horizontal video afterwards, maybe add some tilt, roll, whatever. It doesn't matter because you're shooting everything and you can decide later in post-production what you want to do.
It looks like there's multiple lenses around.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 360 camera. So we have a 6K sensor here and a 6K sensor here. Together they will create an 8K image. And these sensors in front are for obstacle avoidance, because since this is a 360 drone, it always flies forward, always have these obstacle sensors in front, and we have some obstacle sensors in the back, and also the visual sensors which capturing the image will also recognize obstacles in frame.
Is it possible that the 360 8K can also be used for obstacle avoidance from the image processor also?
Yes.
Or is it only for recording?
No, it's working all together for the obstacle avoidance, and it's really good. So I've tested it in a forest, and I was like running around trying to use active track with it, because the active track on that is also amazing. Since the drone is capturing a 360 image, the subject that has to be tracked is always in frame. So you can make sure that you're always capturing the right thing. And with the obstacle avoidance in front, you're also safe from crashing anywhere.
Let's stand here for 1 second.
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
you can.
Yes, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what we see on the screen?
Yeah. So currently it shows the active tracking. So the drone will always fly forward with the obstacle avoidance, but also the tracking will keep the subject in frames, because the tracking on traditional drones is using the visual side. So the drone flies around and keeps the focus on the subject. But imagine you're just riding your bike and some crash happens to the left of you. You're missing that. So with the 360 drone, you just can go in, reframe later, and decide to show, for example, what's happening next to you. Then go back to your active track and show you're riding on a bike. So you're always safe that you don't miss a shot because you're capturing everything.
Does it capture on built-in memory or is micro SD?
Actually, there are two ways. So we have a micro SD card slot at the back, which supports micro SD cards up to 1 terabyte, but also there's a 30 gig internal storage. So, I mean, if you're a professional...
One flight is enough 30 gigs for one flight?
Yeah, so it really depends how much you shoot. So roughly 1 minute of 8K 30 FPS footage takes about 2 to 3 gigabytes of storage. So it's really, really good and really good compression. And it also shoots proxy files, so you can edit more smoothly while...
What would be nice is to record internally on the 30 and automatically send it over to the 1 TB to make space on internal, so you can fly again without having to offload all the data first.
If you're using both, it will always prioritize the SD card inside. But if you don't have one, it will automatically use the 30 gigs internal storage. Yeah.
All right, cool. And here at the NAB, you have some guys are trying it out.
Yeah, so we have two ways to try it. This is the live try-out area, so you see what the drone sees, which is like an out-of-body experience because you can see yourself in a third-person view. But we also have, like here, someone trying out the flight simulator, which is built inside the goggles. So if you're just trying to practice flying, you just can do that at home. Just slap on the goggles, grab the motion controller, and then practice using the flight simulator that is inbuilt in the goggles.
How does it compare with other drones to fly it?
Actually, it's pretty easy. So it's always standing safe and always locked position using GPS.
And it's not gonna. It has these protectors around.
Yeah. So these protectors are. You can just remove them using these clips and add them on. But usually you have just obstacle avoidance. So these have to be added. For example, if you're flying indoors, because the obstacle avoidance will stop in front of walls within a distance of 1.5 meters.
It's also safer for people not to get touch the blades.
Yeah, and also if you deactivate the obstacle avoidance for a maybe interior shooting, you just can fly more safely. But other than that, the drone will stay in the air if you just let loose of the controls, for example, and also uses GPS and vision positioning to keep its position when, for example, in strong winds. Yeah.
So it's been kind of a strong kind of like noise, this drone in the market, right?
Yeah.
Because the world's first.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't mean it's super popular.
Yeah, I mean, we have to show people what use cases we have, because they're always like, we have drones, we have like single lens drones, but why would I need 360? And there are multiple reasons. We have multiple use cases for that. We also had Ren from Corridor Crew here, who explained how he uses it to recreate a 3D space using Gaussian splatting, because you just can use the waypoint feature on the drone, set it going on the street, and it automatically creates the slices and can recreate your scenery more easily and put it into Blender, for example, for VFX workflows. We had a cinematographer here who said he wants to use it for location scouting, using the waypoint feature, and then using the footage inside the goggles, give it to its director, and he can just look around and choose his framing, for example.
And one thing I wonder about the 360 cameras, I always wonder how is the quality of the video when you frame it in compared to like a pretty big sensor that just films one place. It's not going to be able to match, right? In terms of quality, because I don't know, like filmmakers, like a movie, a film, a feature film, maybe you want to have really high quality drone footage.
Yeah, I mean,
what is the quality of the when you know?
So you have to keep in mind that these are two 180 degrees lenses. So we have generally a very wide field of view. You can definitely crop in, but you obviously lose quality. So usually with an 8K image in a 360 sphere, you end up with maximum 4K image, which is still enough. But if you consider, for example, a traditional drone with a single lens mode, you have a more tighter field of view. So these replicate more or less an FPV type look, which creates more dynamic movement, more action sport movement, but can also do slower movements, but at a cost of quality, of course, if you zoom in.
Is it possible to say what's the size of each sensor here and there?
Yeah, so we have...
Is it 1 inch?
Not close. So we have a 1/1.28 inch sensor per lens, which is similar to the Insta360 X5. It's basically a flying X5. So the low light performance isn't as similar to a 1 inch sensor, but it gets close. Yeah.
And what's the price of these?
So usually they start at $1,500, which always includes the goggles, the drone, and the remote. And the goggles itself are already $800, so these are really high quality goggles. It also comes with a hard shell case for the drone, and we have different tiers, like the next bundle will feature 3 batteries and a triple charger and a nice carrying case, and the highest bundle will feature all those already mentioned, and the 3 batteries will then be the longer flight time. So you usually have a 24-minute flight time. With the extended batteries, you get 39 minutes at the cost of weight, because with the standard batteries, the drone is below 250 grams, 249 grams exactly, which means if you're doing recreational flying, you don't have to register it with the FAA. You are more or less safe from regulations.
How about Europe? All the countries in Europe is fine?
Yeah, so I'm from Germany, so these are EU regulations. If you're below 250 grams, you also don't need to get a license. You can more or less fly anywhere, except for overcrowded people.
And most other European countries the same? Yeah,
so these rules are applying to every country inside the EU. So if you're using, for example, the higher capacity batteries...
It's got a battery now?
Yeah, that's with the battery.
With the battery?
Yeah.
So I'm like a quarter of a liter of milk in weight. It's really light.
It's really light, yeah. And you can
it can still do all these many minutes of flight time.
Yeah, so it's 24 minutes with the standard battery in below 250 grams.
And how do you swap the battery?
Just like
boom,
that.
Easy. Okay. It's really not heavy, huh, this battery?
Yeah.
It's kind of half the weight of the drone, but it'd be nice. I want to see some company, maybe Antigravity, do a battery automated swap system. All over Switzerland, I want to be able to fly my drone forever. Should just land, swap, continue.
Okay, like a hot swap.
And then 5G connection.
Oh, that would be great, yeah.
I don't know, so I can just fly it everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind the range limit, because this drone can go like 10 kilometers, but legally you're limited to visual line of sight, which means if you're wearing goggles, you have to have a spotter, and once you don't see the drone anymore, you have to stop and come back. So that's legally, yeah.
You can have another spotter 10 kilometers away.
Yeah, I mean, if the spotter can see it.
Okay. Okay, cool, but thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Imagine every pixel, every sound. Enabled through HDMI technology. From the highest resolutions, the fastest refresh rates, to immersive multi-channel audio, HDMI technology powers a worldwide ecosystem of devices for movies, for gaming, for creators. Experience clarity, performance, connection. HDMI technology. Connect the future today.